This video contains spoilers of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and of the original Final Fantasy VII. Sephiroth notoriously refers to the merging of worlds quite a few times during the course of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
My fragmented mother, these errant worlds, all shall be one again. We are to bear witness to the reunion of worlds. The reunion when worlds merge. A confluence of worlds and emotions.
But what does this mean? And what if I told you that it relates to characters' memories in a profound way that will pave the way for new additions to the story in Part 3? And there's a certain character from Remake that could be impacted most by this. But who? Well, that's what I'm going to try to answer in this video. It's theory crafting time, and I'm going to be piggybacking off of my analysis and theories found in my ending video of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so it might be a good idea to watch that video first. But if not, I will summarize some of what I previously discussed. To start with, Cloud essentially has multiple iterations of himself that exist as empty vessels in multiple different worlds with no conscious. What Cloud needs to do in Part 3 is fill in these empty vessels with a single conscious to make himself whole again, and he will, of course, accomplish this goal during the livestream sequence, or at least much of it. However, he will fail to accomplish this prior to the merging of worlds. When will the worlds merge? I believe it will occur at the moment Cloud hands Sephiroth the black materia at the northern crater. This will create a ripple effect that instantiates many new things. For one, Cloud will go into a coma. This is because of his failure to connect all of his bodies with a singular conscious. Since the worlds merge, that means all of the Clouds from multiple different worlds merge into one Cloud in one world. But because the vast majority of them are still left unconscious at this time, they dominate, forcing Cloud to lose consciousness as well. And since the worlds merge into one, it's only natural that both Zack and Aerith will come back to life since they already exist in other worlds. Or at least they will, for a time. If you watched my ending video, you know what I think about that. But the main party aren't the only characters to be affected by the worlds merging. Everyone will be affected all throughout the planet. This includes NPCs. I believe this will drive many side quests in Part 3. Many people will likely have screwed up memories as a result. It may even be referred to as some kind of sickness. For now, I will call it memory fractures. People might completely forget things that happened, like a form of amnesia, or in other cases, they might remember events that never happened, and maybe even misremember certain events. So I imagine that many NPCs throughout the game will suffer from these memory fractures, and it will be up to you to help them recover as part of specific side quests, and potentially restore their relationships with others by realigning their memories. And they actually teased us with this concept in Rebirth. There's a moment during a Zack sequence where he's speaking with Biggs, and they have a hard time remembering things that happened. Biggs mentions that his internal clock is busted, and Zack concurs. He was still able to recall the events, but it seemed like he was struggling. This is, of course, prior to the worlds merging. Imagine what happens when they merge. Some of their memories may be busted entirely, suffering from this memory fracture illness. And before your memory gets fractured, you'll want to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future Final Fantasy VII Rebirth videos. The most notable character that may suffer from this memory fracture could be Leslie, or rather, his fiancée. If you recall from Remake, we discovered that Leslie's fiancé went missing, and in Rebirth, he thought that he had a lead on finding her in the Corral prison, but it turns out the woman was someone else. My theory is that she actually died in this world. However, she could be alive in a different world, and much like how Aerith and Zack will likely come back in Part 3, so too will Leslie's fiancé. I can imagine a series of quests involving Leslie in Part 3, one in which you find his fiancé, only to find that she doesn't remember him due to this memory fracture illness. Then, during another side quest, you'll recover her memories. It's pretty likely that the necklace Leslie carries will be the key to her recovery. If you recall from Remake, Leslie keeps the necklace she gave him the last time they met as a memento of her. This was likely the whole purpose of introducing this concept to begin with. They've been saving it for part 3, and using it to restore her lost memory of him is how they'll utilize it. Now, of course, if the worlds never merge in part 3, then my entire theory goes out the window. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, you should check out my analysis of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's ending, which also contains my theories and what might occur in part 3. And you can find that video right here.